Hey, how's it going? This is Monjyoti. I'm a productivity coach. I'm not sure there was something wrong with the previous live video. So here I am again, and I wanted to talk a little bit about change. Why change might seem very hard, but it doesn't have to be. Let's say if you're trying to change a pattern about you, let's say it's negative thinking or an emotional pattern of anger or complaining or sadness or a particular way of viewing the world around you, or it's an external scenario like your profession or your personal life or something, or the relationships, a particular way you look at those things and you don't like that about yourself, or it could be anything else. It might seem really hard, it might seem really overwhelming at times. uh, it doesn't have to be. Why? Because it's a pattern, it's not us. And when I say pattern, it's essentially a pattern that we have lived for so long. We feel that that's who we are, but it's a pattern. It's difficult to change us, but it may not be that difficult to change a pattern. So we have to remember that all these things that seem overwhelming or difficult are essentially patterns that we have lived so long that we think that's who we are, but it's not true. And how do we get these patterns in the first place? Right? So patterns are not necessarily like, parts of our personality, inherent parts of our personality that we cannot do anything about, or something that happens overnight, or um, it just popped out of nowhere, and it started bothering us. Mostly patterns are a result of a series of micro deposits that we do, micro actions that we take, small things that we do or we do not do over a long period of time. And it's an accumulative effect of small things that we do or we do not do over a long period of time. Of course, there are situations where let's say there is a significant event that happened in your life, and you started obsessing over it, or you started ruminating over it, harboring those thoughts in your head for a long time, and then it took over your life. And there are those significant events from time to time that leads to some of these patterns. Let's say something related to negative emotions, or a professional scenario or career or something like that. But outside that, mostly the patterns that feels overwhelming or difficult are an accumulative effect of small deposits that we do over a period of time. Each one of these instances seems so insignificant that we don't even notice them. It could be little wearing down of discipline for something that was important, let's say, or it could be we not following through on something that we promised ourselves. Very small, very insignificant, right? With this, we might be tempted to dismiss it on a day-to-day basis. But when all these small things come together, they become this force that takes over your life. So this is how patterns are formed, right? And even success and failure are not overnight occurrences. Success and failure doesn't happen overnight, all of a sudden. One fine day, one fine sunny Friday afternoon, the stars shined and things opened up miraculously, right? There might be a luck element, but essentially success or failure, or anything that is significant and noticeable, is an accumulative effect of tiny little things that we do or we do not do on a day-to-day basis. The micro deposits that we do on a daily basis. And these are essentially deposits in our mind, conscious but mostly unconscious. These are little things that we do or we do not do. Most of the things we may not even pay attention to. But all of these things are coming together, and it's actually chipping into your character. It's actually becoming part of your personality, your character, your unconscious, and it is becoming part of your identity. But mostly we will not notice its effect until it is big enough and noticeable. So the way to change a pattern is the same way we build a pattern, which is through daily micro deposits, and let them accumulate and let them stack. But to change a pattern, we have to make conscious positive deposits in the direction of where we want to go on a daily basis. Small micro shifts, micro adjustments, right? If this is the baseline, if you make a small micro shift on the right direction, and you make enough of those shifts, you'll be far off the center. Same thing in the negative direction. You make a small micro shift in the negative direction, and then you make enough of that, and then after some time, it's a big enough force that can actually take over your life. So it might feel overwhelming, or it might feel like it's an overnight occurrence, or it's something that randomly popped up um, like yesterday. But most likely it is something that has been, let's say, growing slowly over a long period of time. So the way to turn around a pattern is, of course, you do micro deposits in the direction of where you want. The small, tiny little things you do right on a daily basis, and they're going to come together, and that's going to take over your life positively, right? So patterns, success, failure are a result of accumulative effect of tiny little things that we do or we do not do. So get the micro adjustments right starting tomorrow, right? So what this means that you have to shift your focus from the big things that feels overwhelming. It's like the big thing that we are trying to achieve, or the big obstacle that we are trying to get rid of, and shift your focus from the big thing to something very small and tiny that you can handle right now, that's right in front of you. Something very small and tiny that's right in front of you, and that's within reach, that you can do something about right now. Because you take enough of those small steps in the positive direction, and that's about it. That's the way you're going to achieve that big thing or whatever you're trying to do. Because journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. There is something very small that you can do right now. So if you shift your focus from the big thing that's overwhelming to the small thing that's right in front of you, within reach, it's so small and insignificant that you might be tempted to overlook. But if you can cultivate that focus of small micro adjustments, small steps taken in the direction of where you want to go, you take enough of those steps and you will gain momentum, and slowly and steadily you will make progress, right? And that'll give you even more momentum, right? So it's a simple idea, shift your focus from the big thing to something small that's right in front of you, something small that you can do right now. I'm not sure who said, I think it was Jordan Peterson, one of the reasons we humans fail is we do not look low enough. We overlook the small opportunities that are right in front of us, that is within reach, and we can do something about them, right? Because we are so fixated on this big thing that we want to accomplish, or this big obstacle that we want to get rid of, we fail to notice something small that we can do right now, something very small and tiny. It's all about the micro adjustments that we get right on a daily basis, and we do them long enough. That's all it takes. That's precisely how you get the negative stuff in your life. These are small deposits. Of course, outside the significant events that can happen in our lives, but mostly it's an accumulative effect of small things, good and bad both. So anything that you're trying to do, you have to get the small deposits right starting tomorrow. So forget about the whole thing, forget about your whole life, forget about the whole year. Just focus on today or tomorrow, and just focus on getting the micro adjustments right today or tomorrow. Or if tomorrow is today is too much, just focus on the next hour. Get this hour right. If you're trying to build a wall, forget about the wall. Just place this brick as perfectly as a brick can be placed. Just the brick. Just worry about this brick for the moment. Forget about everything else, right? And essentially it means shifting your focus from your feelings, from the way it appears to be, the way it has been, to the process. Everything that you want to achieve, everything that you want to get rid of, the process will take you there. And process is nothing but a series of steps. And each step might again be a series of steps. And it's just about taking one step and the next and then the next. Calmly taking one step at a time until you gain some momentum, and then you make progress. And then eventually, if you're patient, if you're persistent, and if you stick around long enough, you are going to be at a place that's desirable, let's say. And before I leave, I want to tell you that you might believe that whatever you're trying to achieve or whatever obstacle you're trying to get rid of, it might not be possible because it has been hard. If you trust the process, you will be able to reach where you want to go, because most likely your belief about your true capability is less than your actual capability. Our actual capabilities exceeds our belief about our capabilities. So no matter how bad it feels, how difficult it feels, or you might have self-doubt and things like that, or it might have been difficult, shift your focus from something small that you can do right now. Take this first micro step, and then the next step, and then the next step, and you'll get momentum, and then you take enough of those steps, and you will make progress in the direction of where you want, and you stick around long enough, most likely you'll have a desirable result or the goal that you're after, or even better, something better. So that's all I wanted to share today. I hope this was useful. If you found this valuable, do share it with others, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.